challenges of our times. We can host questions. I don't have an opening question because I actually suspect there is a lot in the room, unless I see no hands, in which case I can fill in questions. But don't be shy. We will maybe collect two to start with. You were first. So there's a microphone coming around, and then we'll move over here second. So first here on the left, please present yourself and ask your question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gandhi. In fact, just before coming to Hertie, my last assignment was working with the Congress, and it was the Karnataka elections, which the Congress did turn around and emerged victorious. Why do you think you've not been able to replicate that in any of the other states? That is the first question. Second question, I would just keep it very short. If you come to power, how would you create jobs? It's the thing on everybody of our minds.
So there are, I mean, we have been able to replicate it. We've won election in Telangana. We've won election in Himachal Pradesh. We've been raising issues as far as the fairness of elections in India is concerned. I've done press conferences where we have clearly shown, without shadow of a doubt, that we won the Haryana election. That we actually don't feel that the Maharashtra election was fair. There is a full-scale assault taking place on the institutional framework of our country. We asked direct questions to the Election Commission. I mean, I don't know if you've seen that press conference. Brazilian woman is voting in Haryana. I mean, is on the voting list 22 times in Haryana. One woman is voting 200 times in one polling booth. And when we're asking these questions to the Election Commission, we're not getting a response. So that's one aspect of it, that we fundamentally believe that there is a problem with the electoral machinery in India. Second thing is that there is a wholesale capture of our institutional framework. When you look at our intelligence agencies, you look at the CBI, you look at the ED, they've been weaponized. Look at the number of cases that the ED and the CBI have against BJP people. You'll find the answer 0, right? And look at the number of cases they have against people who oppose them, and you'll find that pretty much most of them are political cases. And so there is a weaponization of the institutional framework. There's a capture of the institutional framework. If you're a large businessman and you try to support the Congress party, you're threatened. The ED, the CBI, these people land up. So there is an atmosphere in India where the institutions are not performing the role that they should be performing. From our perspective, Congress perspective, we helped build the institutional framework. So we never viewed it as our own institutional framework. We viewed it as the institutional framework of the country. That's not how the BJP sees it. The BJP views the institutional framework of India as belonging to them. And so they use it as a tool for building political power. Look at the difference between how much money the BJP has and how much the opposition has. You'll see a ratio, 1:30. How does that happen? I mean, so there is an attack on the democratic system. Now, okay, so then you'll say to us, okay, so what? Well, as the opposition, we have to find ways to counter this. It's not good enough for us to say, there's a problem in the elections, or we will deal with it. And we will create a method, a system of opposition resistance that will succeed, right? But we're not fighting the BJP. You have to understand that. We're fighting their capture of the Indian institutional structure, right? And this is not just me speaking. I mean, I travel around the country. This is what everybody says to me, right? The press conference that we did, it was actually information that we got from the ground, from people saying, listen, look, this is what has happened, right? So that's where it comes, that as far as the elections are concerned. On the question of jobs, there is only one way that you can produce jobs at scale for a country like India, and that is manufacturing, right? And what we've done in India and what the BJP has done, they've completely disincentivized manufacturing. When they concentrate power into the hands of, 3 or 4 oligarchs, the Ambanis and Adanis of the world, these are not guys who are interested in manufacturing. If you look at what they do, they're trading companies, they're not producing companies, right? And essentially, most of them are selling Chinese product in India. So what we would do is we would look at, in fact, some of the stuff that we are seeing in Germany, we would look at how to build up small and medium industry. We would look at how to create jobs in agriculture and jobs in the connection between agriculture and the rest of the economy, a cold chain, food processing. And then we would look seriously at manufacturing. And we would realign our GST, for example, which today is completely anti-producer and pro-consumer. We would try and realign some of those structures. You take something like demonetization, right? Demonetization systematically destroyed our small and medium industry, just wiped them out. Because, in fact, demonetization was an attack on their cash flow. So we would look. We think there is a place for large business in India, and we think there is a place for the Ambanis and the Adanis. But we don't think that they should be the only players there, right? We think that there are many other players at all different levels, and those players should be supported. They should be supported financially, they should be supported technologically, they should be supported by governments. And it's not something that hasn't been done before. India has been successful in manufacturing. In fact, when we were in power, manufacturing was approximately 16.5%, 17% of GDP. It's today 12. So we've had a decline in the last 10 years in our manufacturing ability. So that's what we do.
Let me get the mic back to the front row, and let's try to see if we can group. So 1 question per person, but do present yourself.
Yeah, thank you. It's on?
Yes.
Okay. Firstly, Mr. Gandhi, I'd like to thank you for having risen from the ashes. Yours is absolutely no small feat of resurgence. I'd also like to thank you and the Indian National Congress for being the only thing standing between India and a full-blown collapse into a totalitarian regime and an Orwellian reality. In the existing political miasma of disinformation and lies, and every institution once held sacrosanct, absolutely jeopardized and plundered, you've chosen to bring a certain truth and a certain basic humane dignity into the fight, into the war, actually. Where does this resilience actually come from? How do you keep walking? How do you keep coming back to this big, incredible idea of India that some of us think has been irredeemably lost? And how do we, who have our own struggles and lives to run, play an active role and support you in this journey of India's rebirth? I'm Aishwarya Sampath. I come from the Dravidian state of Tamil Nadu, which holds the uncontested position of acceding 0 seats to a certain someone who shall not be named. Thank you.
Look, there's...
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Essential question. If you can hold your answer, I'll add a second one, and then we can take 2. So if you can put the mic down. I saw Dhruti up in the front. We'll stay here. Oh. And then we'll move back. I see everybody.
Okay, I'll just sit.
Yes, stand up. That's good. That's good.
Thank you. Thank you for your speech. And I'm also going to echo something that my other colleagues have shared. In your speech, you mentioned that democracies, but you want to show that democracies can, produce as much as China is right now. But when your democracy itself is under threat, what do you plan to do? We saw something happen last year with the India alliance, but there hasn't been as much of a rigor in bringing the left together, the political left at least, within India. What do you plan to do right now? How do you plan to encourage new young political leaders?
What's going on actually is a fight between 2 visions of India. And it's not me who's walking or me who's doing it. There are millions of people in India who have a completely different vision of India than the government of India, than the RSS. And this is not a new thing. This is not something that has started 10 years ago or 15 years ago. There have always been two visions of India. There has been, in Indian history, throughout Indian history, the democratic impulse, conversations between people, decisions through consensus, and there has also been the idea of a king, right? And essentially, that's the fight taking place. Are you going to be ruled by one person, by the whims of one person? Or are you going to be ruled by a conversation? And there are people on both sides of that equation. There are many people in India who feel actually we should have a strong leader and nobody should question him, and that's it. And let's not have all this discussion. It's a waste of time. And then there is the other side that says, listen, India is actually too complex, too diverse, speaks too many languages, has too many different ideas for one person to decide its future. And actually, India should be a conversation between its states. If you read our constitution, it says India is a union of states. Now, she's saying that she's Dravidian, she's Tamil. This is a particular vision of the world. It is a different vision than, say, the vision of the people in Uttar Pradesh. She speaks Tamil, her history is Tamil, her entire thought system is fundamentally different than, say, the people of Uttar Pradesh or the people of Bihar or the people of Nagaland. So what we are saying is she should have a voice. And we are saying that, in fact, as many different cultures, different ideas should have a voice. And we have shown since 1947 that we can actually do it, that we can actually have a conversation. It's messy. It's not, it doesn't look neat. It's messy. It sort of creates tension sometimes. People get irritated sometimes. But we've been pretty successful at doing it. Now there's a new model which says, actually, we don't want to have this conversation. We're going to decide everything. And we know better than what the people of India know. And that's where I have a problem. Because for me, India is its people. And there is nobody who knows better for what India needs than the people of India. On the India alliance thing, see, you tend to see the alliance building up when an election comes. Look at it slightly differently. All the parties of the India alliance do not agree with the basic ideology of the RSS. That's the point, right? And you can ask any of them. None of them will tell you that actually we believe in the ideological position of the RSS. So we are very much united on that question. But we have tactical contests that take place, and we will continue to have them. But you will see that when it comes to the opposition requiring unity, and you see it every day in Parliament. For example, we are very united, and we will contest the BJP on laws that we disagree with. It's a deeper battle now than simply elections. Now we are fighting a battle for an alternate vision of India. This is what the BJP is proposing, is essentially the elimination of the constitution, elimination of the idea of equality between states, elimination of the idea of equality between languages and religions, elimination of the idea of the central core of the constitution, which is that every individual should have the same value. So when, for example, we see a BJP leader voting in Uttar Pradesh and then voting again in the Haryana election, what the BJP is saying is this guy is worth two people. Or when you have one woman who votes 200 times in a polling booth in Haryana, what the BJP is saying is this woman has 200 times the value of a normal Indian. That's our problem, right? So even when I talk about the attack on the voting system, the reason they're attacking the voting system is they fundamentally don't believe that every Indian is equal. In their mind, and I've spoken to them, I know them, I talk to them. In their mind, there is no way a Dalit person is the same as an upper caste person. They can't even compute that, right? And that's to me the real revolution in India in 1947. That we said that actually every language, every religion, every idea in India is equal. And if you think about it, without dissing the Europeans. No, seriously, sometimes they come to me and so they're struggling to build an economic union, okay? We built an economic union and a political union in 1947. And we've run it just fine, right? So Indian people do not appreciate what actually India has achieved. To have an economic and political union of 1.4 billion people. That's, imagine, what is it, 3 Europes? It's 3 Europes, right? 4 Europes almost now. So imagine 4 Europes, and we've gone and built an economic and political union based on the constitution. That's the scale of what India has done. And if you're going to have any conversation about democracy on the planet, you cannot ignore by far the largest and most complex democracy in the world. And that's why I say that democracy, Indian democracy, is actually a global public good. It's not just an Indian asset, it's a global asset. You imagine, when I'm talking about attack on the Indian democratic system, I don't say it, but it's actually an attack not just on the Indian democratic system, it's an attack on the global democratic system. Because if you were to remove India as a democracy, if you were to remove 1.5 billion people from the democratic side, that's a huge dent on global democracy. So that's why I say that it's very important for Indian people, especially, to ensure that they protect this really valuable resource.
Thank you. And I hear there's hope for the European Union. So the mic is in the front, but we will move all the way to the back afterwards. So 2 questions in a row, maybe 3 actually, because I see that the room is full. Please present yourself and ask your question.
Hello, Rahul. I'm Sucharita. And what you are saying is very correct. My question to you is that your family has been, we really owe a lot as Indians to your family. From Nehruji till your father, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. And I don't say them late because I believe these people, they never go. They still stay till the human being are there. So my question to you is, so right now we face a problem of EVM. Because EVM is eroding away the very fabric of democracy. What you said is very correct. People are scared to vote because they know that they will not be getting what they are voting. So as a leader and a very good human being, will you be able to completely scrap this EVM and we go back to paper wallet?
Well, I've been saying it. I think most opposition people would agree with you. You owe my family. No, I don't see it like that. See, I think we just represent the voice of people. Whether it's my great grandfather or my grandmother, they just represented the voice of people, and because they represented the voice of people, they got love and affection from people, and they were able to do what they did. So actually, if anything is to be owed, it is to be owed to the people of India, not the other way around. I mean, that's fine. That's true. But look, we cannot. There is a number of people in India who support Mr. Modi, and we cannot get away from that fact. But we do not. A lot of us do not agree with his ideology. We do not agree with the vision of India that he has. We think that the vision will fail. We think that the vision has tremendous problems, will create massive tension in India, will make Indian people fight with each other. So we will fight it, right? And it's a clash between two visions of India.
Thank you. Teja.